Oh, for the game that we've all been waiting for, the one that's happening tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central Time for you people in the Central, the game of the week. The game of the week. Michigan against Oklahoma in Norman. What are your thoughts on that game?
I mean, it's completely a homer take. I cannot separate my biases here. Here's the thing. Okay, I was thinking about this. This is interesting. I wish we had an Oklahoma fan on here right now
Yeah,
because
I mean, if
if
only
I
there was
said
an
this,
Oklahoma fan watching right now who saw the link and would hit the link and come on and talk Oklahoma.
because if I said this, if I said one of these teams has had major questions at quarterback last year, brought in a highly regarded quarterback this year who's going to be making his first start for the team and has a lot to prove against big time competition. A team that had a highly rated running back room that underperformed last year, and now with a couple key recruits and a big time transfer is set to right the ship for the running game this year. A team that had a lot of offensive line questions, and this year coming in with a sort of revamped offensive line. A team with a strong and deep defensive line that is potentially the strength of their defense. A team that has strong a linebacking core, and a lot of questions and a young secondary. Both Michigan and Ohio State, or excuse me, Oklahoma fans could say that I just described their team. The similarities between our teams are insane. A lot of the same issues we had last year and the same things that we did in the offseason, they did as well. The biggest difference, obviously, is that their quarterback, John Mateer, came from Washington State, has not played against top-tier defenses, but does have experience where, we've got Bryce Underwood, who's a highly touted generational prospect, but is a true freshman. But we both had to bring in new offensive coordinators to revamp our offense. It's just it's almost like to steal something from my friend Darren over on his show, and he stole this from Nerd Culture. This feels like a mirror match. Okay, it's in a lot of ways we're playing against ourselves. So we've got Wink Martindale calling our defense. He's an innovative defensive guru, a genius that's designed a championship winning defensive scheme. They've got Brent Venables, who's done the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's just there's so many similarities that it really comes down. It's going to come down to who makes fewer mistakes. And if I mean, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a touchdown or less, no matter who wins. I believe right now Oklahoma's a 5-point favorite. I'm going to say I think Michigan is not going to lose by 5 points. I think they're going to either Michigan's going to win outright, or they will lose by less than those 5 points. They'll lose by a field goal or give or take. But if I'm going to make a prediction, I do think Michigan wins. I think it's going to be like a 28-21 or 24-17 type of game.
So right now Oklahoma is favored by 5.5 points, which I kind of agree with. I mean, I understand Oklahoma being the favorite, especially with like the weapons that they have on their team, like with Burks and Moneyline Mateer, as we like to call him. But I think Michigan, our key to victory, as I've said, like over on the Maze Madman show before, is going to be establishing that run game early. If we can do that, we can get exhaust their defensive line and pull their secondary in. I think that's going to be our key to victory when it comes to winning out against Oklahoma. Because yeah, they have great secondary. Ours is kind of questionable, but we have been known to be that team that stops the air raid strategy that Oklahoma likes to employ. I mean, we were built to beat Ohio State every year. That's what we do.
Well, and to expound upon
One of Ohio State's favorite things is to throw the ball, and we're built to stop that.
Well, and that's the thing, is that the SEC is very much a passing league, where the Big Ten historically is more of a running up ground and pound, hit you in the face in the trenches league. Ohio State was the anomaly in the Big Ten because they built their team to compete with the SEC.
Yeah,
Michigan then built their team to beat that team.
With that, inadvertently, we ended up being the team that can beat SEC teams.
Correct.
Which we have seen in the past, and also we're going to see in the future. Our team is built to stop the air raid. That's the one thing that we do very well. Granted, this year we have some questions in the secondary that need to be answered when it comes with, which I think will be answered with this Oklahoma game. Uh, a lot of people are worried that Barham's going to be out for the first half. I think that's honestly a good thing, not just because of the fact that he might get ejected again for targeting, for hitting Mateer with the crown of his helmet, but I think it's good because by the time that Mateer Barham comes back in, their offensive line is going to be exhausted. He's going to come in fresh and ready to go. The offensive line is going to be exhausted by that point. I think that'll give us kind of an edge when it comes to the second half of the game. Now, granted, we still have to make that impact on the first half. And I think if we establish that run game in the first half of the game, that's going to be monumental to opening up the path for Bryce to show out what he can do. And a lot of people are thinking that Oklahoma is going to get some picks on us. They might be able to get some picks on us, but they're going to have broken hands because of it, because Bryce throws fastballs. He doesn't. He's got to work on that a little bit.
I want to call out something on our team. Listen, I'm very high on this kid. I think he's going to be great at Michigan. But, bro, Andrew Marsh, come on. We talked all offseason about you coming in as a true freshman and being a key contributor at the wide receiver position. There was a play last week where Bryce, it was a timing throw. Bryce, threw it right in his, it was right here in his face. And he didn't even turn.
It looked like the game. Like when you throw someone, it just bounces off
he didn't even turn and see the ball. He didn't, did he not realize he was the second read on that play? And had he been aware and caught that play or caught that ball, that was a touchdown. That would have been the highlight of the game.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Andrew? Come on, man.
You definitely can't do that. I'm willing to bet that boy was running laps after the game for that one.
I think Marsh has got probably the highest ceiling of all the receivers we've got on the team right now. I think he's going to be really, really good. But come on, bro. If you're the second read on that play, you've got to know that. You've got to be aware of that the ball might be coming your way and be looking for it.
I fully agree there. That's something that we definitely need. That's one of the things we got to button up. We button that up. We button that offensive line. And then we're looking good. We get granted, though, secondary is still a question. We haven't really seen them get super heavily challenged. And that's something that we're going to see in this Oklahoma game. We're also going to see how Bryce is going to do under the pressure of being on the road in a hostile environment over at Norman. Granted, they're not as hostile as going to the big house. I guess the big house south would be a good way to put it, at the toilet bowl there in Nut Tree U territory. Luckily they come to us this year, so that shouldn't be an issue for Bryce. But the way that I kind of look at it is, if Bryce can play in the big house, I think Bryce can play in Norman.
I do too.
It's pretty similar.
Norman is a
smaller,
big stadium. But it is a big stadium. It is a difficult one to play in, but I don't think he's going to be phased, man. He's shown the poise. Nothing really phases him. I think that he's going to get surprised by a couple looks that Brent Venables is going to scheme up for him. But I don't think he's going to be phased by the moment. I don't feel like it's going to be, too big of a moment for him.
That is one thing that a lot of Oklahoma fans are touting on Bryce, is the fact that he's new, and they think that he's going to be shook by specifically the jump around in Norman. And I'm like, you got to understand, Bryce is playing in the big house, I think the biggest stadium in the world. You can't say that going to Norman is going to be a huge factor on his psyche, when in reality,
I'm confident that Chip Lindsey's going to have him prepared for that loud crowd and silent counts and timing. He's going to have Bryce prepared for that environment.
Absolutely. I mean, there's
But
no
we're
way
not
you
gonna.
can't do
But
that.
here's the thing: I can't imagine that we're going to put the game on Bryce's shoulders. Like I
Yeah, no.
think, I think in
From
this
what I
game you're going to see a very much. We're going to go to a similar play style as to what Jim Harbaugh did in 2023. We're going
yeah,
to lean on the defense. We're going to lean on the run game, and we're going to have Bryce step up when we need him to, and when the situation allows us to catch them off guard. But I
right.
think I don't think that they're going to ask him to do more than they absolutely have to in this game. Bryce is a generational talent. He's by far not a game manager, but all we need him to do is manage the game and not make mistakes and ride on the back of our run game and our defense.
Yeah, and I think with that, my prediction for the Oklahoma Michigan game is I also think it's going to be close. I will agree with you there. However, I think that it's going to be within a touchdown. I think Oklahoma's going to come. I think it's going to be 21-28 for Michigan. I think that's what we're going to be looking at. I think Michigan's going to get an extra touchdown in what many people would consider to be garbage time, like the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. And I think that's going to give Michigan the lead over Oklahoma. I think they're going to be tied going into the fourth. They're going to have a shootout in the fourth, and Michigan's going to walk away with that extra touchdown. It's going to be 28 points Michigan, 21 points Oklahoma.